Hello again, gang. Welcome back to another Football Manager 2023 experiment with me, Jayhuahua, and it's part 2 of the perfect column. Yeah, that's right. Mark, Tommy, and Phil, they're back. But this time, they're not alone. So, here we go. If you've not been here before and this is the first time on the channel, we've done this experiment once already and it went down absolutely brilliantly on the channel with lots of comments from you guys, and I really do appreciate it now. So we're back. For the first time people here on the channel, we are doing the perfect column where one column has 20 attributes all the way through and the other column has, previously it was 1. And now a lot of feedback did come through from the previous experiment about that, where a lot of people thought 1 was a bit too low, and I sort of agreed. I was a bit cautious to begin with because I was a bit like, oh, are they going to retire? Are they ever going to even become decent players? And, well, spoilers. No spoilers. Link in the description to that video. Go and check it out. Pause this, go and check it out. Come back and watch this one. If you've already seen it, you know what happens. Spoilers, Mark did fantastic. Anyway, the second bit of feedback that I got from the comments, the most common bit of feedback, as well as the ones being too low, position. So, as you can see, we've got 6 players now. We've got 3 strikers and 3 wingers. We've got Technical Tommy and Technical Thierry. Ooh. We've got Mental Mark and Mental Michel. And we've got Physical Phil and Physical French Philippe. Triple PH, I like to call him. Time to play the game. What I've done is I've gone with 5s. And I'll tell you why I've gone with 5s. I went with 10s to begin with, just to test it out. And, I mean, Physical French Philippe at 10s was about 163. And I was like, that's too high for a start of an experiment. People are going to turn off straight away. I went down to 7s and he was still up in the 130s. Mental Michel and Mental Mark are really suffering. Mental Michel really suffering at 64. The disparity between them. But we're here. Technical Tommy, 20s there, and 5s in the other 2 columns. He's a striker. Technical Thierry, our French contingent, the same attribute breakdown, but he's a winger. Can play on both the right and the left. Mental Mark, the hero of the last video, I think we'll all agree, had an absolute phenomenal time. Again, striker for Mental Mark, 5s across the board, and other than the 20s in the mental column. Michel, much of a muchness, winger. Physical Phil, 20s in the physical column and 5s everywhere else. And Philippe, triple PH as I like to call him. Funter first Felmsley. There you go. So, without further ado, let's jump 1 year in the future. See where they go. What I am going to do quickly though, before we jump forward, is I've just organised them by current ability. And I'm just going to take a quick picture, just so I can compare at each interval. Feel free to do this yourself, gang, but I'm going to take a picture, so I will do the hard work for you. How noble of me, eh? Right, 1 year in the future. Let's go. Oh, and here we go. So straight off the bat, let's have a look at the current ability. So Philippe, he's gone from 112 to 116, and he's moved to Montpellier. Physical Phil, up at 107 from 99. Michel, Mental Michel. Oh, I see what's happened. He's gone to 99, and I was like, God, that's a big jump, because he was at 64. He's been trained as a defensive midfielder, which, if we remember from the last time, Mental Mark, defensive midfielder, extraordinaire. He's at Troyes. I'm sure you don't pronounce it like that. Let me know in the comments. Technical Tommy is at QPR on 94. He was on 88, so not much has gone on there. Technical Thierry has been trained up all across the central midfield at OG Nice. He's on 94. He's gone up from 82. And Mental Mark is at Aston Villa. He's gone to 92 from 70, and he is also becoming awkward as a defensive midfielder. Looking over this now then, as you can see, Mark has gone up to 6s in the technical column, kept all his 20s, he's got some 7s, he's got a couple of 8s as well in the physicals. Mark, you did it last time, you're going to do it again. Philippe then, do you know what? Barely moved. Couple have gone up to 6. He's actually just moved to Montpellier for £49,000 from FC Versailles. Phil, again, a few 6s, actually got a few more 6s than Philippe. And he's got a 7, but he's lost one of his 20s, going down to 19 for balance. At Fulham, 1 game, 1 goal. 47 in 63 for the non-competitive like youth team or whatever. But a goal off the bench in his debut. Not bad. Michel, oh, look at this. Yeah, absolutely dominant. And I'm putting it out there now, our mental column players were at the biggest disadvantage because they were the lowest in terms of their current ability. I think they're going to do the best. Although, because we did give them a much bigger head start on 5s, most of them are going to get to at least 170. Most of them are probably going to get to 200. We'll see. Yeah, but he's at Troyes, 24 games, 6 goals. Troyes 2 he was at there, sorry. Technical Tommy, oh, he's lost quite a few. Long shots, marking, passing, crossing and corners. And for some reason, they've trained him to be a central midfielder. Why have they done that? Why have you done that, QPR? Tits. Thierry, he's only got 3 20s left. 4. Sorry. Passing, first touch, dribbling and crossing. Plenty of 6s. He's got a 9 for concentration. A great start. Let's go for picture number 2 then. Zoom out a bit further this time because I want to get the positions in. Because I did miss it, but physical Phil's on the right wing. What's this? I can't believe this was part of the problem. Technical Tommy was rubbish as a central midfielder last time. We've given him every opportunity to be a striker. They even trained him to be a striker in the last experiment. Still played him as central midfielder, and his career flopped. Spoilers all over this. If you've not seen the first edition of this, spoilers all over it. So I do apologise. Anyway, it's that time, 3 years in the future. But before we do, of course, like this video if you like this kind of content. Took quite a bit of time to perfect this, so I really would appreciate a like on it, and any thoughts I do appreciate, and any ideas of future experiments, of course, leave them in the comments. And while you're here, if you haven't, drop us a subscribe. See you in 3 years. Okay, we're at 19, we're about to turn 20, and oh ho ho, have we got some attribute increases over here. Philippe, triple PH, was at 116. He's now at 154. Let's have a look at him. Kept every single one of his 20s. Where's his attribute analysis? Kept all of his 20s. He's a wonder kid, of course he is. He's got 10s for anticipation, 10s for work rate, 11s at dribbling and off the ball. He's got quite a few 9s in there. Vision, technique, passing, decisions, first touch. Everything's moved up apart from tackling and aggression. And as a winger, do you know what? Tackling and aggression, leave it where it is. He's been capped by France 6 times. He's got himself a goal as well. Having a lovely old time for Montpellier. Not scoring loads of goals for Montpellier, it must be said. The league's loaded. 7 goals, 10 assists, 5 player of the matches, yet he's averaging a 7.16 over his career. Technical Thierry then is up at 152. And again, it's the wingers. It's the wingers that are doing really well. OG Nice and Thierry. Has he got some of his 20s back? I think he has. And look at this. He's got yellows aplenty over here. His physicals are almost all there. Natural fitness is up at 9, and that's his lowest. He's got 2 10s, 3 11s and 2 12s in the physical column. He's becoming a very well-rounded player. He's been capped once by France. He went on loan to Wigan in the Sky Bet Championship and absolutely tore it up. He's then 10 goals in 33 games. He's got far more goals and assists and player of the matches than Philippe. The numbers don't add up to me. Right, Technical Tommy. He's lost another one for crossing. He's down at 18 there. He has not improved as much as Thierry, but he's had a big money move. He's at Leeds. He's on 78 grand a week, and he's moved for 17 million including add-ons, 15.5 million so far, and it's happened in January. Oh, a January transfer for Technical Tommy, Leeds United in the Championship. He's only gone and got promoted with them as league winners, and he got 7 goals in 12 games. Unfortunately, as the season's ticked over, we can't see how many games he's played in each position. I'd like to say scoring 7 in 12, he's playing as a striker. Scoring 7 in 30 for QPR, I'm worried he's playing as a central midfielder. And I'm glad he's been sold. Anyway, Mental Michel still at Troyes. He is wanted by a who's who of Europe. Freiburg, both Milan clubs, Cadiz, you're having a laugh, Cadiz, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Real Sociedad. He's only worth 4.6 to 13.5 million. He will be a steal. He's playing fantastically well, I would assume. He's developing pretty well. His physicals are getting up there. His technicals are getting up there. He's on a 7.13 for his career, which I think's been boosted by the playing for Troyes 2. Playing for the first team, he's never got over a 7. Did play 32 times for them, though, in the most recent season, and did not get a goal. He must be playing as a defensive midfielder. And rightly so. Well done, Troyes. You've absolutely done Mental Michelle a service there. Now, Physical Phil was at 107, and he was second in the table for current ability. He's now second bottom. He's lost a bit of his physicality. He's losing some of his attributes here. He hasn't got a single yellow attribute elsewhere. He went on loan to Preston and did pretty well, and then he's come and played in the Premier League 20 times off the bench and not done great. There's still plenty of time, but Fulham, not doing great. A mental mark. Last video's hero, the hero of the day. I think we're all rooting for Mark, aren't we? I certainly am. Might be biased. His physicals are fantastic. His mentals still up there. He's lost quite a few. He's got down to 19. He's not got anything in the technicals. It's because they're playing him as a striker. He's only unconvincing as a defensive midfielder. Get him as a defensive midfielder, and I'm sure his attributes are going to fly up to, well, over Mental Michelle, I would say. Let's compare him to, let's compare Michelle and Mark. Why can't I compare him with Mark? I can't compare those two. What's going on here, Football Manager? I think there's a big thing that's going to happen in the early 20s. I think there's going to be some serious movement. So we're going to take another picture and we're going to jump through just 3 more years. Now, I apologise in advance, gang. This is going to be a bit longer. I've been trying to get my videos down a bit. You might have seen in more recent times they've been just sneaking above 20 minutes or around the 20-minute mark. That's where I'm sort of trying to aim them at. Some of the earlier ones were about nearly half an hour. This one's probably going to be about half an hour. You can't condense it. Last time there was so much to go through, and now we've got double the amount of players. So hopefully you've strapped in and you're along for the ride and you're really enjoying it, because I'm having an absolute whale of a time. Nearly swore then. Oh my God. Philippe, he's at 199. He's jumped up. He's moved from Montpellier to Real Madrid. He's wanted by Liverpool, Manchester City and Bayern Munich. 31 caps, 13 goals for France. Not as many as you'd... I would have thought he'd got more. His dribbling's up at 16. He's kept every single 20 in his physicals. Unbelievable talent now. £105 million Real Madrid paid for him. In the summer that we've just been at, start of the season for Montpellier, started flying. Over 4 games, it was his best seasonal rating, 7.22. He's gone to Real Madrid for £105 million, and that did not deter him. He's then absolutely flown away. Double figures for goals 3 seasons in a row, should I say. Double figures for assists and goals in this second season. Nearly 20 goals. What a season that was. But here, 7.93, 14 player of the matches, 7 assists, 12 goals in 38 games. Did not miss a game, although one of those was a substitute appearance. Technical Tommy is at Liverpool. Last time was at 152, so he's had a huge increase, and he's got all of his 20s back except for corners and crossing. That's fine. Don't think he's going to be playing much in central midfield, and look at all these mentals and physicals. Almost everything's in the yellow, and he's on the cusp of composure. He's on the cusp, stamina as well, decisions, on the cusp of getting a green. Going to be absolutely unbelievable. £200,000 a week he's on. 20 caps, 9 goals for England. He moved £32 million from Leeds. I'm going to say that was his minimum fee release clause, relegation release clause, and they went down. And that's what I'm going to predict. 26-27, let's go and look straight at it. They did not go down. That is very, very surprising. Very, very surprising. But if we do look here, we can see that Liverpool have won the league in the most recent season, and that means Technical Tommy is a Premier League champion. Physical Phil is at Arsenal, and we've got deja vu. Physical Phil at 167. He was at 135 last time, so he's doing all right now. Got all his physicals up at 20, except balance at 19. So he's brought them back from Fulham. Okay, last club Southampton. So he's had a couple of moves in the meantime. He's getting some yellows. Let's just hope Arsenal don't ruin him like they did last time, because Physical Phil spent about 7 years at Arsenal in the last experiment. It was awful. The Fulham sold him for £38 million to Southampton in January. So he was in the Championship, so he got relegated with Fulham. In the Championship, tearing it up. Went to Southampton, did not great, really. 1 goal in 9 appearances. then 7 in 37. Now he's got 11 in, we'll say 35. 10 of those are off the bench. £95 million he cost. 6 caps for England, 4 goals. I think he's playing on the right midfield. He's a natural on the right. His physicals are stating play him on the wing. He's not got the finishing. His composure, I mean, it's getting up there. It's getting up there. His goal scoring record is not good enough, in my opinion, to be a striker. I think he's playing on the right. Maybe he's an inside forward, winger. We'll see. Well, we won't see, but you know what I mean. 19 under 21 goals in 16 caps as well. Thierry then is at PSG, and this was always going to be the case, wasn't it? If you are bringing French players into the mix, they're probably going to end up at PSG. Thierry was at 152 last time. He's now at 185. That polygon's insane. Great technicals, and he's losing some of the technicals. He's more than making up for over here. And I think we've seen our first green in a column that was not their intended column. Agility for Thierry on the wing. £85 million for PSG at the start of last season. And he's got an 7.86. Michel has also moved to PSG. Never been capped for France, though. And only 5 under 21 caps and 0 under 21 goals. Are PSG potentially playing him as a winger? Because he moved for 10 million a few years ago. Maybe not. I think he's coming off the bench a lot. I think he's probably playing as a winger. We're going to have a look. Here we go, against Bordeaux. There we go. There's Mental Michel on the left and Technical Thierry on the right. And we're just going to go and look at a random game here against Feyenoord. Again, Michel and Thierry on either wing. So he is playing as a winger, which is probably why he's down at 167, because he's not improved as much as he could have done. And Mental Mark at Aston Villa, still at Aston Villa, improving pretty well. Lost a few of his mentals, but he's got good physicals and good technicals coming through. He's transfer listed by request for £76 million. He is wanted by Man United, West Ham, Monaco, Villarreal and RB Leipzig. I am of the opinion, play these guys as defensive midfielders and they will be superstars, but he has not been capped either. So we're about there with most of them. I think we're going to jump through another 3 to get to 25. And I think, I'm going to put it out there, in 3 years, I think every single one of them is going to be at 200. Oh, they're not quite all there, but they are all plus 190. And it's Tommy. It's only bloody Tommy who's got there first. Liverpool, 200 out of 200 for technical Tommy. Fabulous. Fabulous polygon. Wanted by Bayern Munich. He's having an absolute great time of it in the Premier League, scoring goals for fun. Philippe having a great time of it again for Real Madrid. Barcelona did win the league last year, but Real Madrid have won it pretty much every other year. So he went there, in 26, 27? So only once has he failed to win the league. Technical Thierry has gone to Newcastle. He's moved from PSG for 144 million. That wasn't 99 million, was it? It must have been loads of add-ons. Physical Phil is still at Arsenal, but he's at 195. Oh, I'm pleased at that, because if Arsenal had ruined Phil again, I would have had a real problem with Arsenal. And he is coming through and he's scoring quite a lot now. His finishing is only at 10. Dribbling's up at 15. He's got technique at 16. He's doing all right. And all of his physicals have gone back to 20. Mental Michel, still at PSG. And he's now a natural in defensive midfield. Wanted by Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and Newcastle. Look at that polygon. His physicals look like just a fantastic player in general. His technicals are very good and his mentals are just mental, eh? You know what I'm saying? 30 caps, 1 goal for France. If I look at the PSG team, he's now playing here as a defensive midfielder because they've stopped playing wingers. Mental Mark, they're playing him up front. Of course they are. Because they got rid of technical Thierry. Mental Mark at 191. Fantastic mentals. Yeah, we've seen this now. 8 caps, 5 goals for England. He moved for £132 million from Aston Villa in January. Again, with the January signings. Lots of January movements in this experiment. but they're all almost there. PSG aren't winning the league every single year either, which is very interesting to me. Jurgen Klopp's at Real Madrid, and in terms of Champions Leagues, Real Madrid have won 3 of the last 5. Liverpool have won 1 back here. Arsenal coming runner-up. The Bayern in the most recent Champions League season. Okay, so we are getting capped. We're basically there. We're 25 years old. In the interest of now keeping this a little bit shorter, we're going to go 2 more stops. We're going to go 3 more stops in this experiment. Early 30s, end of their career, do any of them become staff? That's how we're going. Let's go 6 years now. Big jump of 6 years to 2038. So they're all pretty much there. Physical, triple PH over here at 198 at Real Madrid, still at Real Madrid. No point in looking at, he's lost a bit of his physicals, to be fair. Having a fantastic time for Real Madrid as well. 209 goals in his career, most of them for Real Madrid. Loads of assists, loads of player of the matches, 7.72 overall. He's got an 8.02 in this season. Mental Mark has moved to Bayern Munich. He has been a mercenary going around Europe. He was at PSG for just 3 years, 3.5 years, and then PSG made an £18 million loss on him. He's gone to Bayern Munich and he's absolutely ripped it apart. Where Bayern Munich have won the league again every year except Bayer Leverkusen have snuck in. 28 goals in 55 caps for England, still only unconvincing as a defensive midfielder. I suppose if you look at it now, his mentals are fantastic. His physicals have got decent, like to striker level, and his technicals are actually world-class striker level, like 17 on finishing to go with all of his composure off the ball, all the great attributes that you want for a striker in the mental department. He's now bringing the technicals through. Maybe he is better suited to being a striker now because his tackling is only at 11. You want him as a defensive midfielder? I'd argue not. He's doing the business for Bayern Munich. 25 in 33. 8 in 12 when he moved in January again. Why is it January that they're all moving? This guy, Mental Mark, after Christmas, he has a little after Christmas crisis. Leaves Birmingham for Paris, and then decides, you know what, fancy a bit of Munich. Phil, 200 out of 200. Come on, Phil. Oh, I really feel for Phil after the last time, because I thought he was going to do really good, and he started out behind everyone else because of his attributes in the central midfield role. He started out behind the other two, and then he just got ruined by Arsenal. 51 caps in 87. 51 goals in 87 caps, should I say. Double figures for Arsenal every single season he's been there. Barely missed a game. This is his worst season. For 34 games. Still got 14 goals and 7 assists. Nearly 200 career league goals. Tommy at Liverpool. Need I say more? 266 goals. 7.24 overall. Thierry at Newcastle. 154 million it's gone up to now. He's tearing it up. And he's transfer listed by request for £98 million. I suppose £98 million, I was going to say someone come in and swoop him up, but at 31 years old, I don't know whether I would. And Mental Michel has gone to Manchester City. Hang on. Okay, so he's gone to Man City. Pep's still in charge. Michel's playing as a winger for Man City. He's joining Saint Etienne. So he left PSG for free. I mean, PSG only spent 10 million on him. He was there for a good few years. Then he's left them for free. And now he's joining Saint Etienne. 99 caps for France, 4 goals. These guys must be doing phenomenally well. They've just won the league 2 years in a row. So they are the current best team in France, are Saint Etienne. So he's moving from Man City to Saint Etienne. In terms of the Premier League, Man City have won it a few times. Arsenal have also won it. Liverpool. So 3 of our players have now got Premier League titles to their name. Thierry, unfortunately, has not. In terms of the Bundesliga, as we saw, Bayern Munich winning every single season. In terms of La Liga, so we were last here. Barcelona won it that season, and then it's been Real Madrid ever since. And in terms of Champions Leagues, Bayer Leverkusen winning the Champions League and the German League in the same year, and then coming runner-up the following year, losing to Bayern Munich. Oh, Bayern Munich have won a few Champions Leagues now. Look at how many they've won. Bayer Leverkusen won 2 as well. Okay, we're going to try and find the end of their careers now, so bear with me a second. Right, they're all gone in 2045. Right, Physical French Philippe is not a staff member. Neither is Physical Phil, who spent a long time at Arsenal. Fair play. 16 years. 71 goals in 114 caps. 66 goals and 153 caps for Philippe. Technical Tommy. Again, Liverpool legend, not a staff member. 114 in 141 for him. Thierry moved from Newcastle to Tottenham. We'll see what happened there. 58 goals in 133. Mental Mark has decided to become an assistant manager and he's currently unemployed. He was there at Bayern Munich for a hell of a long time. Let's look at his stats in his career. I'll move to the other side so you can see the overall. 7.32 overall, and yeah, he did very well, did Mental Mark. Very well indeed. Did fall away towards the end of his career. I think he probably moved back into that defensive midfield role finally. And Mental Michel, he moved from Saint Etienne. He then went to Wolves. So we are going to go back. I'm going to go back a couple of seasons just to see. So 2045. So he's only just retired. 43, 43, 44. Right, I'm going to go back to 43. Well, there's only 4 of them there. Oh. Anyway, let's have a look how much Mental Michel went for. He went for free again. He's a mercenary just walking around, isn't he? Saint Etienne have absolutely taken over, though, in the French league. In terms of the Premier Division, Tottenham, Wolves have won one. Hang about. 40-41. Oh, Wolves were champions. Then Mental Michel has gone to the league champions. Twice. League champions that you wouldn't expect as well. I can't believe Wolves have won a Premier League. Newcastle down here, winning one. But I think, who was at Newcastle? Thierry? I think he left to go to Tottenham, didn't he? Here he is. Yes, he's gone to Tottenham. He's retiring here. 8.25 million. 40-41. He left in January again. But 38-39, Newcastle did win the league. So he's got himself a trophy as old Thierry. Go on, lad. 3 Europa Leagues for Newcastle. But it's all about the Champions Leagues. And Bayer Leverkusen have won another one here against Arsenal. Tottenham down here, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern. Yeah. Okay, so lots of trophies for all of our guys. So I'm coming back here to 2045 where they've all retired. But I want to see Footballer of the Year, and I wanted to, some of them might have won it in the last couple of years. They didn't. Umberto Maldini of Wolves. Oh, he's good, isn't he? Physical French Philippe, Triple PH, has won the Footballer of the Year 10 times. 10 times he won it. Mental Mark got one, and Physical Phil got one. The Golden Ball. Physical Phil won it a lot for Arsenal. Triple PH won it a couple of times for Real Madrid. Under 21 Footballer of the Year. Any of them? Yeah, Triple PH won it twice. Technical Thierry did get one, though. NXGN. Yeah, Triple PH and Technical Thierry. So I think it's Triple PH who's got it. There you go. There's your man. He has won the most individual accolades. The player of the experiment. I think for a physical player to do so well in this one was actually quite satisfying considering the travesty that happened at Arsenal last time. But we're not done there yet, gang. Oh no. There is internationals to talk about. France and England. And in terms of the World Cup, well, France have not won it in this save game, but England have won 3. Marcus Rashford is the current England manager. Wait. Hold your horses. We're looking at the Euros first. Oh, and they've not won a Euros. They've come runner-up 3 times, losing to Italy, Portugal, and Spain. Right, here we go then. Of course, it's time. The Ralph Hasenhüttl bingo. Last few experiments I've done, he's not been there. So come on, Ralph. Finish this experiment off in style. Southgate, Conte, Santo, Gaetier, Zidane. He's there. He's there. And he retired from management after. And he won the World Cup. Right, let's work this out. 2039, he was there. The World Cup. He won it in 2038. And in 2039, he hung up his managerial jacket, retired, and said, I'm done. That is the perfect experiment, the perfect career. Ralph Hasenhüttl won the World Cup with England. Is there anything more satisfying than that, gang? Well, thank you very much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've had a lot of fun making it. Very fun from the last time as well. It's lovely to do a part 2 to something. We're going to have to think about this thumbnail, though, so it doesn't look too samey. That's a me problem, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Lots of likes on it, please, gang. Push it out to as many people as possible. I want this one to do even better than that other video. It'd be great if it could. And yeah, come back soon. If you're not subscribed, please do. Thanks for coming along. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.